Hey guys, Ninja Nick 333, back after like a month after this tournament happened, to bring you the top four of the Professor Bond's Emporium, Amsterdam, New York, ARG tournament. Everyone in top 8 got invites to the ARG Invitational, which reminds me I have to put in for time off for that now at work. Dark stuff's been happening in my life, so that's why it's kind of taken me a while to get around to doing anything. I realized that top 8 hasn't even been uploaded yet as of me recording this. Obviously it goes up before this, but whatever. Recording this after Toronto. I've recorded this video once before, but I did it at 1 a.m. and said I'm tired every other sentence, so I didn't feel like that was good enough quality. I kind of did that in top 8, but I think I filled in the space a little bit better with actual commentary. So we're trying to get it back on track, trying to do a little more. I do have a Collinsville vlog that will be coming up after this, even though it's kind of late, but it's good. It's short, unfortunately. It's a decent length video, but it doesn't cover much ground. I'll say that, because I kind of bombed that tournament. Not gonna lie. So did well in Toronto though. Got top 64. Started 5-0. Choked on stream. I have to actually watch that match. I might do commentary for that, but anyway, I'm gonna get back to this. On the left, we have Mike yet again with the Ultra Necrozma Malamar deck, and we have Chris Siakala here on the right with Zapdos Jirachi. He's playing the like the Beast version with the Beast Energy, Nihilego, and the Baby Buzzwole. I do have to say, Nihilego is like one of my favorite cards in the format right now. Don't really know what I can put it in that'll be really good, but because I think the best version of Zapdos right now is the version that plays like double Jolteon GX. That card's really good. Helps you beat Mirror really easy. Wow, I left a lot of space here at the beginning of the video just to talk, I guess. I did it on purpose, but I didn't realize I put this much. I'm sorry. But yeah, so they are going to start any minute now. Chris starts with the Absol on purpose. So the reason he does this is it allows him, if he just gets a skateboard, which I think he already has in hand, yep, he just flashed it, to be able to retreat and then attack with Zapdos. So that's super good. Chris wants to be able to attack with Zapdos for the full 80 every time. If you don't know, Thunderous Assault does 10 plus 70 if it became active this turn. Chris is going to go first. He's going to draw and pass. Zapdos actually prefers to go second most of the time, especially in Mirror, because it can easily take the first knockout that way. So Chris just chooses to go first just to draw an extra card, have more options, and passes, because there's really nothing he has to do. He believes his hand is perfectly fine as is. He doesn't want to waste things like those Electro Powers on turn 1, just to potentially draw extra cards. We have Mike here is going to discard Giratina, it looks like, with the Mysterious Treasure to get an Inkay. The best course of action for a Malamar deck to beat Zapdos in this current format, like before Collinsville happened and the deck changed to have like Jolteon GX and stuff in it, the best course of action was to just get double Giratina with 4 Malamar set up, and then every time you attack with Giratina, you just hit one of your own Malamars. If you double Electro Power to knock out the Giratina, it just comes back with 3 Psychic Recharges and whops you again. But the Absol start from Chris is really good because he can force Mike to have switches and Guzmas in order to attack. His Pokemon have to be on the bench for the Psychic Recharge to essentially take effect on them. So He heavily relies on the Jirachi escape board engine in order to get more cards and switch his bench Pokemon active. Now he's unable to do that without an extra energy card. Anytime you can force your opponent to use more cards in order to do what they want to do is really good. It'll always put you ahead of them. Chris attaches the energy to Zapdos and then switches in using the escape board and just takes the knockout on the Inkay and takes the prize. Chris's hand was actually pretty dead, so it's very fortunate for him that he is able to just take an easy knockout like that. We're going to see Mike use the Stellar Guidance, I believe ability. Or no. Stellar Guidance is Jirachi EX's ability, right? I don't remember. We're gonna see him use the Jirachi ability, and he's going to get a Cynthia with that. Shuffle his deck. He's going to, looks like, put the Viridian Forest in play. That is a super good card, just literally in any deck that plays basic energy. I switched to playing specifically 3 basic fighting energy in Zoroark just because I can use my opponent's Viridian against them, essentially. That's why I won't play Weavile or the units anymore, because Viridian Forest is just such a good card that I want to use my opponent's Viridian Forest. Not that I ever play it in my deck myself, you know. So he's going to play that Cynthia. He gets 1 Malamar down, it looks like, so that's really good. He's going to want to see, I don't know if he plays Rescue Stretcher, if he wants to get back that Inkay from his discard or not, if he has that option available to him. I don't really like that he's going in with the Ultra Necrozma. I would have liked to see him just discard it or save it or something, and just use the Giratinas, because the Giratinas do need double electro power to be knocked out. So you just put 40 on a Malamar, you take a knockout on the Zapdos. Zapdos can only knock you out twice over the course of the game, and they would have to get the electro powers in order to do that. So you get a lot of value out of your Giratina more, whereas you get the same amount of value out of an Ultra Necrozma, but it gives an extra prize and doesn't recycle itself. So as you can see, Chris going super baller right now. Uses the Viridian Forest's discard effect to see his deck, just to get the Guzma out of his hand, so he can double Electro Power and Lily for extra cards. So he could have just saved the Guzma and drawn 1 less, but it was better for him to just discard it with the Viridian then, just to draw more with Lily, because his hand was pretty dead. We're going to see an Ultra Ball discarding the Tapu Koko GX and the Choice Band. I think discarding the Choice Band might be okay, especially since he ends up with another Choice Band on this new Zapdos that came down with the Rainbow. But getting rid of the Koko GX is actually pretty huge, because Giratina has 130, Sky High Claws does 130. Also, if a bunch of energy are in play on Mike's board, Chris can easily use the GX attack and just blow him up. So there's that. Chris does play double Rescue Stretcher, so discarding it right now is actually okay, because he can easily recycle it later. He eyed up the Koko Prism Star at first, then he almost chose the Zapdos with this Nest Ball. He's deciding to go for the Jirachi. Now, the thing with the Jirachi is you don't want to put the 70 HP Pokemon in play like that, because of the fact that it will die more easily to Sky Scorching Light GX. But I actually don't think Chris got the knockout one-shot on the Ultra Necrozma. I think it was 180, because Thunderous Assault does 10 plus 70, so that's 80, plus 30 for Choice Band, plus 60 for the 2 Electro Powers, plus the 10 from Shrine that he had was 180. I've done the math on this, I don't know, 10 times. He did not get that knockout. So I don't know. I don't know if either of them realized that or not, or maybe I just missed something. But I've watched this video twice now, so I specifically went back the last time I watched it and double checked my math. So We're seeing the Stellar Guidance, or I keep saying Stellar Guidance. Is it really Stellar Guidance, or is that the Jirachi EX's? I can't remember. So it looks like he gets Viridian, uses a Viridian, discarding a Lele. I like discarding the Lele, because you don't want to put the extra prizes in play, even though he's actually just doing that anyway with the Ultra Necrozma. He's gonna Psychic Recharge and attach return on the thing. He's going to bring back the Giratina. I like that. Put the 10 on the Jirachi, make that able to be Sky Scorching to later. The 10 on the Zapdos probably just doesn't matter ever, but he has to pick something for the other 10. So, and he's going to use Photon Geyser, going down to 4 prizes. So Chris gets the Escape Board. On the Jirachi, he's going to use the ability, looking at the top 5 to choose a trainer. He was eyeing up the Ultra Ball. Might grab. Looks like he's going to grab the Choice Band. I like that. Mike does have a GX Pokemon active, so that makes Thunderous Assault do 110, which is better than 80, especially since Ultra Necrozma has 190 HP. Looks like Rainbow, Choice Band, Lily for a bunch. Put Zapdos down. He's going to retreat the Jirachi, and he's going to body him for 110. Alright, so how is Mike going to respond here? He needs a switch to bring the Jirachi active in order to use Psychic Recharge. Looks like he attaches a Psychic Energy? I'm not sure if I like that. You need a metal on that boy to attack. And actually, if he Viridian Forest for a metal, right? Or just had a metal and attached it, he would get knockout here, right? Because doesn't Photon Geyser does 20 plus 80. So that's 100. The Zapdos already has 20 on it. So actually, putting the 10 damage on the Zapdos with the Giratina is actually pretty big, because the Photon Geyser can do a 1 energy knockout. Looks like he's going to use the Viridian Forest, discarding a Psychic to get a Psychic. I don't know if you have to be that aggressive with getting more energies. I think at that point you risk running out of energies. So we see double Psychic Recharge onto the Giratina. He's going to Photon Geyser. Oh, he must have a metal on it, and I just don't see it, because he uses Photon Geyser to knock out the Zapdos. So that's fine. I know he had a metal in hand at one point, so it looks like a Psychic Energy. The hollowing looks like a Psychic Energy to me, but that's definitely a metal if I like squint really hard. Chris is going to play Ultra Ball. He's going to get the Tapu Koko Prism Star. That will be really good to pull off a Tapu Koko GX play at some point in the future. He's going to Escape Board that Tapu Koko. Mike wants to read what the Nihilego does. He's at 3 prizes, so it doesn't matter quite yet, but when he's at 2 prizes, Chris can use Nihilego to copy the attack of any one of Mike's Pokemon. Super huge. It's a really good attack. Watch my vlog for Collinsville. It will explain just how good Nihilego's attack is, okay? Just you gotta watch out for that. Looks like he just, yeah, so it looks like Chris just Cynthia's here after that. For some reason I thought they almost passed turn or something, but that's just me not paying attention now. Alright, Chris, with the Stellar Guidance ability, gets the Rescue Stretcher. Looks like he's neglecting to, or forgetting to put his Jirachi asleep, but he's just going to retreat it anyway, so. And he's going to use Thunderous Assault for 80. which knocks out the Ultra Necrozma even before the Shrine goes into effect. So Shrine not really putting in too much work right now. Psychic Recharge onto the Giratina. Mike needs to use yet another switch to switch his Pokemon because of the Absol. So you see, he could just retreat the Jirachi now, but he has to play switch. Or he has to attach an energy to Jirachi, which would be fine too, I guess. He's going to use, it looks like Mysterious Treasure to discard Ultra Ball. Or maybe it was Ultra Ball discarding Mysterious Treasure or Ultra Ball. I can't really tell. Cards are going by a little fast. He's going to get another Giratina. I do like this. I think that, oh, he's going to discard it with the Viridian Forest. I like that too. That's really cool. So he's going to get another energy in play. And what he can do is he can now bring this Giratina back and poke some things on the bench. Probably, I don't know, maybe like Nihilego, Oranguru, or like Absol. Like, it doesn't really matter what he hits. So he's going to bring that back, and if he hasn't attached an energy yet, he can attach to the Giratina and then use switch. Or he can just attach to the Jirachi and retreat, but he already has so many psychic energy that he's burnt through that I don't like attaching to the Jirachi for the retreat now. So he's going to play the switch he's eyeing up. Or he's thinking about Guzma too. I don't know, I think you can just take the knockout on the Zapdos and that's fine. Chris has no other attackers in play. You force him to dig for another Zapdos. And it looks like, okay, so it looks like Mike wants to get more value. He wants to get more cards. So he switches into the other Jirachi. Now, if Chris didn't have the Absol in play, he could have just retreated the Jirachi and then used the ability and then used the switch. But he forced the switch out early by having the Absol. So again, that's something really huge against any escape board decks. So now, because he wanted to use the second Jirachi, which I don't think was entirely necessary, it forces him to play the Guzma in order to take the knockout. And now that allows Chris to do another attack without having to find any additional cards. So I would have really liked to see him just knock out the active Zapdos, force Chris to find another Zapdos. Chris's list only plays 3 Zapdos. We've seen all 3 of them already, so it actually forces him to do the Rescue Stretcher thing and find more energy. So, and of course, since Mike keeps putting the Viridian Forest in play instead of letting the Shrine take effect, yeah, I would just leave. I think leaving the Shrine in play might have been a little smarter, because then Chris can't use the Viridian Forest to find more lightning energy. And I think we did see that Chris had Rescue Stretcher in hand earlier. I think I remember him searching it from the Jirachi. So Mike knew he had the Rescue Stretcher. Maybe that's why he went for the Nihilego. Also he did go to the 2-prize turn. Actually, so I do like the knockout on the Nihilego. Because, yeah, he went down to 2 prizes, knocks out the Nihilego. He knocks out the Nihilego going down to 2 prizes. So the Nihilego can't copy any one of his attacks. So actually that's good. Only thing is, Chris would have to have a Rainbow or a Beast Energy in order to do that. I think he ended up finding one of those too. But anyway, yeah, he was just Mike was just too far behind at that point because of those knockouts on the 2 Ultra Necrozma. And Chris was able to just pull ahead. He did the Rescue Stretcher for Tapu Koko GX, Tapu Koko Prism Star thing, and he can just use Sky High Claws or the GX to take the knockout and win. We're going to probably see Mike go first this game. I don't really see any reason why you wouldn't go first with pretty much any deck except for Zapdos and Zapdos Mirror. It's very rare that you want to go second with any deck. Mike gets 3 Inkay out without having to play a card. That's huge. That lets him save his Mysterious Treasures for the the 4th Inkay, the Malamars, for his for his Lele. He has to put the Lele in play. He must not have any other sort of draw supporter, so that's a little unfortunate that he has to put a 2-prizer in play. But Chris does start the Tapu Koko GX. That is his worst starter in the entire deck, because not only because it's a 2-prizer, and because he has trouble moving it, but also because he can't bench it to use the ability to move Lightning Energy to it. So this Tapu Koko GX is essentially useless this matchup. We are going to see a Lily for a whole bunch of cards. Mysterious Treasure, discarding a Giratina. Jirachi's down on the bench now. This is a pretty big turn. A lot of good things happening on Mike's side of the board. Looks like he just grabs a Malamar for next turn. I would rather either get another Inkay or not do anything. Like, I would just not play the Mysterious Treasure, because that's one less out. Like, if you get, like, judged or something, that's one less out to getting the Malamar next turn. I do like the retreat into the Jirachi, though. That allows him to find a draw supporter for next turn in Lily. I would like to see 4 Inkay on the bench, though, because you gotta think Chris has got, like, Switch or Guzma plus, like, Zapdos energy, right? Like, that's just things that Zapdos always has at all times. This is also, like, right after the Zapdos deck came out, so it's like, not everybody even knows what the deck does, let alone how to beat it. It took me until after Collinsville to figure that out, so bad times. I didn't actually play against it once in Collinsville. I was a little disappointed. I had a whole game plan on how to beat it. I was playing, like, essentially the same Zoroark list I was playing here, but a little different. It looks like Chris does get the Shrine and the Escape Rope. So he is able to switch into the Zapdos right now. Mike literally does not want to put any one of his Pokemon up. I would almost... See, I want to say that I would put up the Lele, but do you ever want to put up a 2-prizer and like let it take damage? If he played something like Acerola, maybe, I don't know. It's a little tough of a decision. I think putting the Inkay up is fine and letting it die, but then you only have 2 Inkays. And then you have to, like, Rescue Stretcher and then put another one down. It's why Malamar is just such a bad matchup. Yeah, Malamar is a good matchup for Zapdos. Like, Zapdos just, like, beats it really easy. The Shrine does ping Chris's own Tapu Koko GX, though. So that's important to keep in mind, that thing is, like, sitting 2 prizes that Mike can take at any point in the game. We do see double Malamar, so that's really good. We got a Viridian Forest, we got a Nest Ball. He's trying to figure out what he wants to play. He's going to play the Nest Ball for... Okay, so in his top 5 cards, he saw both Nest Ball and the Ultra Necrozma. So he just grabs the Nest Ball and then grabs the Ultra Necrozma. Puts it on the bench. Again, I really don't like the Ultra Necrozma attacking in this matchup, unless it's like for like the last 2 prizes on the Tapu Koko GX at the end of the game, or if he wants to do some Sky Scorching shenanigans. We're going to see double Psychic Recharge, Metal Energy come down, no Absol in play from Chris, so Mike's just going to be able to retreat, but no, he wants to be aggressive. He wants to take those 2 prizes while he can. I don't really blame him. Staying ahead in the prize race is always really good. He's also going to use the ability of the Giratina now to put the 10 damage on that Zapdos, so that Mike only needs 1 Psychic Energy in order to knock out the Zapdos, right? Because it's like 20 plus 80, so 100. And Zapdos has 110, so now it only has 100 left. He can just use 1 Psychic and knock him out. So that's actually really good. So I don't mind him attacking with the Ultra Necrozma here, like that. This could make him go like super ahead on prizes. So Chris plays Cynthia. He gets another Zapdos. He's got a couple lightning energies in his hand. Looks like he's going to discard one of those and a switch with an Ultra Ball. He's going to search up another Pokemon. He's eyeing up the Oranguru, which will allow him to draw more cards. I think that's really good. You always want to draw as many cards as you can, as often as you can. Make sure that you can always do what you want to do at all times. Also, fun fact, I think Chris changed sleeves like 3 times in this tournament. Because I specifically remember him after like the first or second round changing his sleeves, and then these are different sleeves than he changed into then. So that's why he likes to reuse sleeves. Actually, the sleeves he used in Toronto were like leftover sleeves I had. Like, I pulled them off of one extra deck to give to him. The vendors weren't selling sleeves. Like, one of them was selling Dragon Shields, and they upped the price by like 50% because they knew they were the only people selling sleeves. And Dragon Shields are like god-awful sleeves too. So we see Mike is going to go in for the switch. There is a lot of damage on his Ultra Necrozma now, so he might want to try to save that thing by attacking with the Giratina instead this turn, which I would like. Although Chris does play like 4 Guzma, so it's entirely possible that this Ultra Necrozma can just go down next turn. We see 1 Psychic Recharge, 2 Psychic Recharge. He's thinking about planes. Wait, no, he's just going to play Cynthia. He can just retreat the Jirachi here, I believe, with the escape board. Even though he's asleep, escape board does let you retreat if you're asleep or paralyzed, which is really cool. Try to picture in your head a Jirachi with his eyes closed, and he's just doing kick flips and ollie hops all the way down the street. Coolest kid on the block. He can do all those cool tricks without even being awake. You ever hear somebody say, I could do this in my sleep? That's what Jirachi's doing. Alright, so it looks like a bunch of pretty unplayable trainer cards in Mike's hand that he can't really do much anything with. He whiffed energy. He whiffed... yeah, because I don't think he's attached an energy yet this turn. So, you would really like to see an energy attachment to the Giratina, I believe. It looks like he's trying to do some math on who he should attack with or not. Chris also, this is pretty big. Chris attacked with the Zapdos that doesn't have any damage on it. So Mike actually does need 2 energy on his Ultra Necrozma in order to knock it out, because he's going to be 10 short. So, or maybe, or I might have missed it and the Giratina came into play this turn. Either way. Yeah, so he just retreats into the Giratina and passes. Now, I don't like that, though. I think that I would be fine. Especially, it looks like he has he has Guzma in hand, right? If he has another Giratina and discard, I would think that it would be okay to just attack into the Zapdos and leave it at 10. Because then you could Guzma and then use the ability and then knock out the Zapdos. I don't know if he has another Giratina and discard, though. He probably doesn't. And it doesn't look like he has any way to discard one. He has a Cynthia Nest Ball. I don't know. If he had, like... I think he has Mysterious Treasure. No, it doesn't look like he has it. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any way he could find a Giratina and discard it next turn. We're going to see Rainbow Energy come down on Nihilego. He is making that thing a threat. That is a pretty big threat. That can copy anyone Mike's attacks. It can copy Energy Drive. It can copy Photon Geyser. It can copy... I don't think copying Photon Geyser does anything, though, right? Because it's like basic Psychic only that it counts? Yeah. He can copy Giratina's Shadow Impact, though. So that's a clean 130. So it looks like Mike's deciding what to do. I don't really like that he retreated into the Giratina. Like, I understand that he really didn't have much of a choice. But now he's going to have to find a way to move that. So he does, if he does have Guzma, I guess that's fine. But I can't really tell. No, he just had like double Cynthia. Yeah, so he's going to have to find Switch. It's really good Chris doesn't have Absol right now, because if he had Absol, Mike would be in a super bad position. So he's going to Cynthia, he's going to try to find a Switch so he can put that Jirachi back active, use the ability to get another card, and he's going to try to Psychic Recharge if there's anything in his discard pile. But it looks like there actually isn't any Psychic Energy left in his discard pile, too. So he needs to find Psychic Energy and discard them. And it looks like he still whiffed more Psychic Energy. That's actually pretty big. That's really unfortunate for Mike that he's just whiffing super hard these past couple turns. Like he just has the opportunity to do things. It looks like he's ahead on prizes. Yeah, because he took that Coco GX knockout early. But he's just not drawing well at all. Oh, it looks like there is one Psychic in his discard pile. He can put that on the Ultra Necrozma. He doesn't have a Switch, though. I don't know. I might have just saved the Psychic Recharge, because then if you get Guzma'd, you can then Psychic Recharge to the Giratina instead. I'm not sure if it's really going to matter, though. And the Shrine damage is now stacking up super high. So, we're going to see what's going on now. There's 130 on that thing, that Ultra Necrozma. It's 60 away from being knocked out. So it looks like we see one Electro Power and then switch. Yeah, so I think Chris is going to switch into, looks like Tapu Koko Prism Star. And then we're going to see a Lily for, I think, 4 cards? Yeah, 4 cards. So can't really tell too much what he has. Nest Ball, Rescue Stretcher, Rainbow Energy. He's going to put the Rainbow Energy on the Oranguru. All his attackers in play are already loaded up with energy. So there's really no reason not to. I don't see him attaching 3 energy to a Tapu Koko Prism Star, especially since he probably wants to use that with the ability. Chris is trying to decide what he wants to attach this rainbow to. He puts it on the Jirachi. It could potentially be bad because now that leaves him in Sky Scorching Light range with the Jirachi, but I think Chris's plan is to just go ahead. Yeah, and he wants to dig for that Electro Power too. This way he can get a knockout. So he can just retreat this Jirachi using the Rainbow Energy for the retreat cost. Oh, and he has the switch anyway, so that's even better. Also, this Jirachi can attack because it's got the rainbow on it that fulfills the metal cost. So that's pretty funny. I have no idea what the attack does. I'm pretty sure it's like 30 damage. Almost puts up the damage Zapdos, but remembers that it forces Mike to have the extra energy, even though he already does. I think he wants to save that Choice Band, though. So if the Choice Band was on the fresh Zapdos, I would say attack with the damaged one, because you already know it's going to be knocked out by the Ultra Necrozma no matter what, because it already has that extra energy on it. But he wants to save the Choice Band. Even though it can be an easier knockout on Ultra Necrozma in the future, the Choice Band is a bigger help. Like, it helps you with the numbers more. Almost forgot the Shrine damage, it looks like, so that's coming down now. Chris has already used at least 2 Electro Power, so It's going to be harder for him to take knockouts in the future using Zapdos. So Mike is drawing his fresh hand here. So it looks like he's almost like it almost looks like he forgot like that he played Cynthia. Like, oh no, where did my Cynthia go? It was just on the bottom because I think Chris was checking his discard. Giratina comes back out again. We're going to see some more damage go into play. Probably on like, I'd say like Tapu Koko Prism and Oranguru is fine. Yeah, I think that's the best place to put it. Get the Tapu Koko closest to that 100 damage number so the Ultra Necrozma can knock it out with 1 energy. And then do the same for the Oranguru. So the next time a Giratina has to come back from the discard, you just put it on those two again, and they're both at 100. Looks like the Jirachi is getting a Lily to Mike's hand. I think what he has to do is attack with this Ultra Necrozma, though, which is going to put Chris at 2 prizes after Mike goes down to 3. So it's really unfortunate that Mike whiffed that couple turns there, because I actually think that he would be favored to win this game if he didn't whiff on those 2 turns. Like, if he just drew what he needed to draw on those 2 turns, he would have already been ahead, and he would have stayed ahead, even attacking with this Ultra Necrozma. Looks like he's deciding what to do. Looks like he's going to... Yeah, he's asleep. Okay, so it looks like he's thinking about Psychic Recharge. I think you can put that to the Giratina just fine. Actually, the Lele is pretty good, because he can go in... He's considering using Tapu Cure in order to heal off his Ultra Necrozma. The only bad thing is that if Tapu Cure could heal the Lele as well, I think that would be a huge play to do right here. And I honestly, I don't know. I would have really loved to see him Tapu Cure, but it doesn't heal your own guy. So that's the bad part about it. Your Lele doesn't heal itself. Because if it did, I would say use Tapu Cure right then and there. But by putting the Lele active, it's highly likely that Chris can just take the knockout on that, and then he can just 2-shot the Ultra Necrozma just fine again, and then win the game. So, looks like Jirachi active from Chris. Gets another Zapdos with the Rainbow Energy down, plays Cynthia. And we're going to see, what does he do here? He's probably going to retreat into the Zapdos and take a knockout. And he gets the escape board in order to save the Rainbow Energy in case he wants to do a cheeky attack with Jirachi for style points later in the game. This will put Chris down to 2 prizes. Looks like he gets the Thunder Mountain as well. So his Zapdos have free attacks, which literally doesn't matter. I think it's fine to actually put that stadium, the Thunder Mountain, into play, so that then Mike has more trouble getting energy because of no Viridian Forest. However, he already has the energy in his hand, so it doesn't really matter. We see double Psychic Recharge to the Giratina. Probably going to attach return as well. You see the Choice Band come down. Doesn't really matter much at all in this matchup. He's just playing it just to get it out of his hand. Maybe he can, like Lily or Cynthia, get an extra card because he doesn't have the Choice Band in his hand. He's thinking about, okay, he's going to use the Viridian Forest to get another Psychic Energy. Trying to thin that deck to make the, I think the Lily draw him the best combination of cards as possible. You don't want to draw the Psychic Energy off the Lily, so he discards one in order to have a different one, thin his deck by one card. Makes this ability on the Jirachi a little better because you are guaranteed to not see that Psychic Energy in those 5 cards. He's going to grab a Nest Ball. He might play the Nest Ball as well. We're going to see. He's considering it. He's behind a prize now. Chris only has 1 prizes in play. He only plays the 1 Tapu Koko GX. You know Chris is not going to put that into play again, unless it's to take his last prize. So, yeah, Mike's in a pretty bad spot. He's going to attach the energy here. The thing is, though, if Chris can't get Guzmas, and as you can see, he does the exact thing of putting the damage on the Oranguru and the Tapu Koko, so they're both at like 100 HP now, I believe. And he, again, does the Guzma to... Yeah, so he's not gonna... Okay, hang on, let me pause this. So he's not going to use the Lily. He's going to use the Guzma to knock out the Nihilego. And because he's going down to 2 prizes, he wants to make sure Nihilego's not going to come up and knock out his Giratina. So that's a really smart play, because the Nihilego can one-shot Giratina. Chris is at 2 prizes. You don't really want to see a one-shot. Chris has used multiple Electro Powers, so the likelihood of him having the game is lower if he has to attack through Giratinas. The only thing that gets Chris the win here is the Guzma, and Electro Power onto the Lele to take 2 prizes right here now, which is exactly what he got. So, good game. Chris won. It's a super unfavored matchup for Malamar. Pretty much should never win against Zapdos, in my opinion. But if you can go heavy Giratina early, you can kind of just like outpower them because of the whole Electro Power thing. Especially if it's before the Nihilego gets going. Nihilego is just such a good card. And you can see just the fact that it was in play was such a threat that it made him leave Zapdos in play by like Guzmaing it up. So anyways, guys, that is the match. This was the final round. I and Chris are both in the finals, and Chris was hungry. He wanted to go home and eat. It was too late for him. He was tired. He didn't really care about the playmat. He thought it was ugly. So he's just like, you know what, Nick? You win. I'm going home. And I said, okay. You sure? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. And he just left. He just took 2nd place packs and left. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. And I won. So I have the Knights playmat. I think it's fine. I like the color. I don't like the hearts. I've been, the past few tournaments I played in, I've just been playing on the mat, because somebody told me on Facebook to play on the mat, and I'm just like, okay. Yeah. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm sorry it took so ridiculously long to get all of the videos up. I will try to do better, I promise. I promise I will try. I don't promise I will succeed. Collinsville vlog, and a really poorly made box opening video are going to come up. There is some language in it, so be prepared. In both the videos. I can't control my friends' mouths. I do my best. And then I'm going to have a Toronto recap come out too. Haven't been recapping the regionals I did bad at. I didn't recap Dallas because I couldn't really remember my matchups. So this time I took notes so I wouldn't forget. So, yeah. So that's about it, guys. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. So see you then.